Hey guys, Stormy Strike here. I wasn't planning to make this video, and it probably won't have much in the way of editing because I did not expect that I would be making this, and I have other things to work on, but here we are. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack. Since the BreyerFest 2019 special run model Pepper was released, there's been some drama in the model horse hobby about the theme for BreyerFest this year. Now, this video is not to point fingers at anyone or make anyone look bad or make the hobby look bad or anything like that. I just wanted to discuss about it and throw in my 2 cents. If you're already active in the model horse social media world, you may have already heard all about this, but I'm sure a lot of you don't know, therefore I will explain what's been going on. Basically, people are upset that Breyer released a special run model that is named and maybe also has its design inspired by the Marvel Comics character Pepper Potts. And not just because they aren't a fan of the model in particular, but because they are afraid that this means the entire BreyerFest 2019 theme is going to revolve only around comic book characters and not real-life horse heroes like war horses, firefighters, police horses, and what have you. Which is understandable because the first couple of promotional things from Breyer about BreyerFest 2019, Salute to Horse Heroes, has given off that vibe that it would mostly be about real horse heroes. I mean, especially with the very first promotional image, which has a navy blue starburst design behind the early bird raffle model. I think something with mostly real-life horse heroes is what we were all expecting right off the bat, based on the information that Breyer gave us. But because Breyer has shown one special run model that has a comic book hero inspiration behind it, people are now worried that the entire theme for BreyerFest 2019 is only going to be about fictional superheroes. I feel like every hobby, and I mean every hobby, not just the model horse hobby, has amnesia or something, because this is the exact same topic that was debated about last year's BreyerFest theme, Off to the Races. I mean, do we just not remember that we already had this same discussion last year, just about a different theme? In fact, I think I even have a video where I mention about the controversy about the 2018 BreyerFest theme, and if I do have that, I will play that for you right now to show you the same discussion about BreyerFest themes has happened many times before. The theme Off to the Races really isn't specific to thoroughbred racing. Just because they use that as their picture on their banner doesn't mean they are going to be limiting it to that one sport. I think there are actually a lot of possibilities out there on what can be done, and because of that, I became much more excited about the theme. Yeah, so in 2018, everyone was worried that Off to the Races was only going to be about flat racing, but then it wasn't. Of course, all the special run models were a variety of molds and breeds, like they always are. And I can practically guarantee to you that it will be the same this year. Breyer puts out a variety of models that will hopefully appeal to a variety of collectors. I think the biggest reason why I think this whole discussion is just already being blown out of proportion is that Breyer has only revealed 3 BreyerFest models so far, out of the 35 models they're going to be revealing. Seriously, they still have at least 30 more models coming out. You can't let 3 models define the entire line of BreyerFest models. 30 sounds like a lot, I might have miscounted on that, but Breyer does release a lot of different BreyerFest models overall. Because we got the 8 special runs, we got the auction models, we got the celebration horse, we got the tent horses, we got the pop-up shop horses, we got the BreyerFest prize models, we got all kinds of different things that Breyer is going to be releasing. And we really just can't let just 3 models define what the entire theme of BreyerFest is. There is no reason to jump to conclusions so early in the game, and that's why I don't do my BreyerFest surprise horse speculation videos until after Breyer has released the majority of its models, because that plays a huge part on my guess. If you are worried that the BreyerFest 2019 Salute to Horse Heroes is only going to be about superheroes or comic book characters, I'm telling you right now not to worry, because the theme will be a mix of all types of heroes. And also BreyerFest's 30th anniversary, because that is a big thing this year as well. They are not going to forget about the anniversary part of this BreyerFest. They are going to have stuff for that too. Now, I probably should say, I do not work for Breyer. I do not know any inside information about Breyer and BreyerFest, so I can't give you like 100% sure guarantee on this, but I can get pretty close because I have evidence for this as well. I'm not just spouting my opinion. Breyer has already given us evidence that the BreyerFest 2019 theme is going to be about a variety of heroes. And I'm going to give you those evidence points right now. So are you ready? Here we go. Number 1, obvious evidence is the promotional images I already mentioned. If they wanted a superhero comic book theme, they would have went with that right off the bat in the promotional images. They would have done some more pop art stuff like they did for this question mark image thing for Pepper. Number 2, the Celebration Horse is a police horse that works at the Kentucky Horse Park. He is an excellent example of a real-life horse hero. And there is nothing about him, or when they talk about him, I don't think they ever say anything about, oh, he's like a comic book hero, or he's a superhero in real life. If they wanted it to be about fictional superheroes, they probably would have said something along those lines at some point when talking about the Celebration Horse by now. Number 3, the images for the BreyerFest tickets, which will also likely be used as button designs given out at BreyerFest based on last year. I don't know about what you think, but to me this looks like a general hero horse design. It does not scream comic book or superheroes to me. It's much more reminiscent of the types of horse heroes everyone thought of when the theme was announced. Horses like Sergeant Reckless and police horses. That's the vibe I get from the little ticket designs for BreyerFest. It's not very comic book superhero at all. Number 4, if you take a look at the rules for the BreyerFest diorama contest, the theme for the contest isn't even about horse heroes. It's about the BreyerFest anniversary, which is why I'm pretty sure they're probably going to have at least one model or merchandise dedicated towards the 30th anniversary. Number 5, the BreyerFest costume contest is about heroes. Specifically, it's what makes a hero, with suggestions, and I quote, from caped crusaders to members of the armed services. Heroes come in many varieties. Who is your hero? I mean, I know that's a short thing to cite, but I feel like that right there is the vibe they're going for. It's about heroes coming in all kinds of forms. They're not doing just comic book heroes, they're doing all kinds of heroes. Heroes can come in all kinds of forms, and really anyone can be a hero. Don't you guys remember when you were in school? Well, I mean, a lot of you are probably still in school, but do you remember ever having an assignment in school where you're supposed to write about a hero in your life, or someone you look up to as a hero? I know I've had to do that assignment at least 2 times in my life, and usually a big moral of the assignment is that anyone can be a hero, and I think the same kind of deal applies to this BreyerFest theme. Point number 6. A couple of the BreyerFest workshops are also geared towards Salute to Horse Heroes in a non-superhero way. Like there is a workshop for making a police breast collar for the Celebration Horse Oliver. Point number 7. While the early bird raffle model is named Cap, that doesn't automatically mean he is supposed to be Captain America. Cap is just an abbreviation of Captain. You can interpret him as being a representation of Captain America if you want, but for legal reasons, Breyer won't ever confirm something like that outright anyway. Which brings me to the convoluted topic I really want to talk about for some reason in this video, and hopefully I will not butcher trying to explain it. Yes, the first BreyerFest special run, Pepper, is alluded to being named after Pepper Potts. Notice the key word, alluded. Breyer cannot legally outright say that these models are based after copyrighted comic book characters and superheroes unless they get the licenses from the companies that own them. And I can already tell that Breyer has not, and likely will not, be securing any licenses agreements with brands like Marvel anytime soon. Now, will Breyer make a couple license agreements with horse owners to make models out of their horses for the store specials? Absolutely. Will Breyer make an exceptionally more complicated, lengthy, and costly license agreement to make official Marvel-themed special runs? No, I don't think they will. I know they also have license agreements to make things like Spirit Riding free models, but that's still kind of a different thing because Spirit Riding free models are not special runs for a one-year event at BreyerFest. They are regular runs that are widely distributed, and I feel like if Breyer ever would do some sort of license agreement with a bigger company, like Marvel or something of that sort, they would do it so that they would be produced as regular runs, so that more of them could be made, and more money could be made off of them, instead of making just a small run for a BreyerFest event. And another reason why I know Breyer is not doing a license with Marvel, and they won't be doing it, is because they are cleverly avoiding any possibility of getting sued by Marvel through just one BreyerFest blog post. When Breyer introduces the special run Pepper, they never once say Pepper Potts, Tony Stark, Marvel, or anything of that sort anywhere. And yet, if you read that blog post, left the page, and then thought back to it, you may have thought they had because Marvel characters have become such a huge part of pop culture that we all know what character Breyer is alluding to in just a few words. But Breyer never actually says it, and that is why Marvel would not sue them over it, because legally there has been no copyright infringement. Why we all might think, oh, Breyer clearly made a model after a Marvel character. Whether or not that was their original intention, there is actually nothing substantial that would put them in legal trouble or show that they got some kind of licensing agreement from Marvel. So the answer to the question of could Marvel sue Breyer over this special run, the answer is no. Also, a big company like Disney/Marvel really has more important things to worry about than suing a smaller company over a vague interpretation of one of their copyrighted characters, and even a character that's not even super popular. Now, I know that wasn't specifically the main topic of discussion in the model horse hobby, but I wanted to bring it up because I have studied a little bit about copyright laws. I mean, not a lot, but enough where I think it's an interesting topic to discuss. But mostly because I want to assure that Breyer isn't going to be spitting out a ton of models that are explicitly based after superhero characters. It's just not going to happen, especially if they were using superhero characters from multiple different sources. Then they would have to get licensing agreements from different companies and pay a bunch of money and time to have all those sorted out. It's just not going to happen. Now, they may still allude to models being based after copyrighted characters, like they did with Pepper, but that's going to be the extent of it. They won't go any further than that. And if you're still thinking, well, what about the portrait models? Breyer gets licenses for that. Why wouldn't they do that with Marvel? Well, that's kind of a different thing. Because licensing a real-life horse from a horse owner is a whole different ballgame than trying to get a license from a mega corporation. Also, Breyer has never licensed a special run model to be based after a real horse, at least to my knowledge. So the special run models are always going to be just whatever people at Breyer come up with for the designs for them. Also with the special run model Pepper, I am a big Marvel fan. I love Marvel. When I first saw the special run in her name, I did not put together that she was supposed to be like Pepper Potts until someone mentioned it and I went back and actually read the blog post. So it's not like she's an obvious superhero. If they didn't reveal her name and they just had the model, no one would have probably made that connection. So keep in mind, even if they name some of their special runs after famous comic book characters, the horses are still just horses. They don't technically actually connect to any of these real characters. They just have a name like that character. You don't have to have the horse and think, oh, this is supposed to be character so-and-so, and I can only see that horse as that and not as just some pretty horse that I wanted to buy. Oh man, I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm not driving you guys away. I'm sorry this video has just turned into a big ol' rant. But the point I'm trying to make is that this BreyerFest will have a variety of things going on. It's not going to just be military and police horses. It's not going to be just superheroes. It's not going to be just historical horse heroes. It's not going to be just about the BreyerFest 30th anniversary. It's going to be a combination of all those things. Of course, one thing might end up standing out more than others. Like last year, flat racing did stand out quite a bit, but it still didn't mean that they didn't celebrate all forms of horse racing. The same goes for this year. They're going to be celebrating all forms of horse heroes. Also, some people seem to assume that this theme was supposed to focus on just American horse heroes, but there's nothing that says that this BreyerFest theme is only about horse heroes from the United States. And I think that's a good thing, because as I already said, it's nice to have a variety. We don't need to talk about just horse heroes that come from America. Not all horses may even be real, they may be fictional. And above all, is the theme to BreyerFest really that important? I mean, it is important to an extent because it makes one year BreyerFest different from another and brings out creative ideas and fun themes and merchandise. But really, isn't BreyerFest just about getting together with other hobbyists and sharing our love of model horses? Isn't that what it's really about? I myself feel silly for saying in previous years that I didn't want to go to a certain BreyerFest year because of the theme. I wish I could have gone to every BreyerFest ever since I started collecting, because it's just such a fun experience no matter what the theme is. Alright, I think that is all I have to say. I hope that's all I have to say. My goodness, this video is probably awful, and you are probably sick of hearing my voice. And while editing this, I too am going to be sick of my voice. So I will end it there. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you want more BreyerFest videos, because I have a bunch of BreyerFest videos coming out. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone!